Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the BROSKIE channel. It's been a while since I did one of these voiceover videos, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah, so the original video got claimed for like less than 5 seconds of audio that was pretty transformed. It was less than 5 seconds, so it kind of sucked. So I have to redo all this now. And then I accidentally deleted the intro, so I'm redoing the intro as well. But anyways, this video is, what you can tell from the title, all about the 109G and the Soviet planes. So hopefully you guys learn something from this and see how that the German planes are maybe a little bit OP and the Soviet planes are a little bit broken. So yeah, let's get to it. So up first we have the Bf-109G without the cannon pods, and this one had a pretty shocking result. Turned a lot faster than I imagined it to. All the tests were performed at 400 kilometers per hour at air start altitude, which is like around 2,000 meters, just a little less perhaps. So yeah, Bf-109G turned in a little less than 20 seconds. It was like 19.83 seconds. And now we're going to do it with the cannons to see if it makes any difference in turn time, which I believed it's supposed to make some kind of difference. But I don't know if the cannons make that much of a difference. You're going to see in this one that it takes like a tenth of a second to actually turn longer, which is a little bit surprising. I thought it'd be a little bit more, but maybe it just turns the same, and I just did the test a little bit weird. There are some different variations on how I turned in each of these. Up next we have the Focke-Wulf 190. This was another surprising one, as it turned incredibly fast, but it did lose a lot of energy while doing this, so I guess it's kind of balanced out in that regard, but it was a shocking 16.5 seconds. Up next we have the Yak-1B, which is supposed to turn better than all of these. I guess the initial turn of the Focke-Wulf is supposed to be pretty good as well, but Yak-1B turned pretty well, I'd say. It's like a little more than the Focke-Wulf. I'd say it's about the same though. Then we have the Yak-9 with the 37 millimeters, the 37 millimeter cannon, and this one, it took a long time to turn, which was quite surprising to me, because I thought it would actually turn better, which I thought it should, but I guess the 37 millimeter cannon weighs it down a little bit. But it took a significant longer time to turn. In fact, that's where the Bf-109G can start easily outturning it. Next, we have the Yak-9 with the 45 millimeter cannon, and this one, it wasn't shocking to me. I guess we all knew. I didn't know it really made a difference, but some people might have known. I don't know. But yeah, if you're gonna use the 45 millimeter cannon, you're gonna need an escort. So if you're gonna go for tanks, it might help. But other than that, 22 seconds. It's a long time for a turn. You're going to be getting out-turned very easily. And here we have the LA5, and this one was surprising me also because it turned a lot longer than I thought it would. I don't know how realistic it's supposed to be, but it seems to be turning a little bit longer than actuality. It should turn a few seconds faster, I thought. And same with the LA7, it turned even longer than that. I think it had the longest turn time out of all the planes that I've tested today, except for maybe the Yak-9K. We'll see it in a second. But I do think the LA5, LA7 could have a few seconds reduced off the turn. Maybe the 109G have like a second or two added to its turn time, or maybe something to do with energy retention. Oh yeah, LA7 definitely took the longest, 24.5 seconds. That's ridiculous. So as you can see, the German planes definitely turned a lot faster than I originally thought, and they definitely have a lot of potential to outturn a lot of the Soviet aircraft, or I'd probably say that they probably shouldn't be able to. Now obviously there's a lot of factors that play into this: the speed you're going at, the altitude you're at, energy retention, initial speeds of the planes. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but obviously Wings of Duty is a mobile flight simulator, and you can't really go in that depth with it without creating a whole bunch of lag, or even a game that could be supported by iOS or Android. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about what I think the problem is. So I think the main problem is the Bf-109G turns a little bit too fast, and that the LA5, LA7 turn a little bit too slow. I think the Focke-Wulf is fine for now. I think the Yak-1B is a little fine for now. I think the Yak-9T and the Yak-9K, I'm not too sure how realistic it is. I looked at several different sources. A lot of them said they should be turning at around 18 to 20 seconds, but I don't know. I've also heard that the Yak-9K is very sluggish. It does make sense for it to turn really slow. And I've also heard that the Yak-9K requires escort. I did not hear that with the Yak-9T though. So I think right now it's fine, but I definitely think there should be stuff done to fix. So let's go ahead and talk about the Bf-109G. What's the first thing we should do about it? I think right now there's a few things you could do. Either increase the energy reduction with it and its turn time by 1 or 2 seconds. I think that's one of the better ways to balance it out right now. And then as you can see, there was hardly any difference, if any, with the additional cannons on it. So I think with cannons it should definitely add another second or two to its turn time, but we don't see that, or at least I did not see that. So that's one way to fix the Bf-109G right now. I heard complaints that the Bf-109G2 turns like, or not turns, but performs like a Bf-109G10, which I don't know. It's a pretty broken plane in my opinion. I think a lot of people can agree with me on this. We did do a lot of tests with it against the Yak-1B on turn encounters. I would fly the Yak-1B and someone else would fly the Bf-109G, and then we would swap sides to make sure it just wasn't us who sucked. And we had consecutive results with the Bf-109G winning, and it won in the turn fight due to the Yak-1B just simply not being able to outturn it and eventually stalling out before the Bf-109G would. So that goes to show that the Bf-109G has definitely some kind of OP factor to it, which is something to take in consideration when flying with it, that you can pretty much abuse its turning to win a lot of dogfights. So to fix it, just go ahead and add a couple seconds to it and reduce its energy retention. I think that'll help a lot. But then again, I want to hear what you guys think. How realistic is this? For the Yak-1B, it looks pretty good to me. It should be turning between 17 and 18 seconds, and it turned pretty close to 17, so I guess it's alright. It does have pretty good energy retention, although it does lock up at what I would think would be low speeds, and then doesn't seem to give up on it, which is kind of interesting. I'm not too sure I can really fix this. I don't know if I want to really say anything on it, because I might just make it worse. So I think it's okay, but it's definitely worth revisiting. Maybe there is something wrong with it. But I think it's kind of balanced for the Yak-1B at least. The roll rate seems pretty alright, but it definitely just seems locked up all the time, which I guess is kind of realistic, but also not at the same time. Often I find myself purposely reducing the throttle while turning, just because it won't turn as sharp as it should. But I do think at even at 500 kilometers per hour, it should turn alright. It shouldn't be locking up that bad, but for some reason it is. And even at 400 kilometers per hour, it seems like it's about to lock up. I don't know, but it's just something to look at. So for the Yak-9T model, it did turn a little bit slower than the Yak-9, but I think it's kind of realistic. 18 to 19 seconds is where I picture it to be, and that's kind of where it was at. It turned just almost as fast as the Bf-109G turned at, so it's kind of a gamble on who's really going to win that. I guess it's who sees who's first, really, or who gets the first shot off. Could the turn time be increased? I guess it's fine where it's at, but I do think that it's not seeing as much success as it should be due to the 109G basically just not stalling out while turning or turning too hard. And then for the Bf-109, or not Bf-109, for the Yak-9K, I think it's kind of fine where it's at, because I've heard reports that it needed escort to be flown with it due to its sluggishness and intense, inaccurate recoil that would pretty much destroy the plane. So I think it's alright where it's at, and plus a 45mm cannon, I can't imagine the plane really turning that well with one. Alright, so now for the LA-5 and the LA-7, I'm going to go ahead and put these two in the same category, because I do think that these planes should be turning a lot faster than they currently do. I do think you can knock off a few. They should be turning at no more than, shouldn't take more than 22 seconds to complete a whole 360-degree turn with both the planes. So they could definitely reduce some turn times there. I think 25 seconds is quite ridiculous for the LA-7, and I don't think it turned anywhere near that. And obviously at altitude, it can definitely turn more than 25 seconds, but I don't even know if WAD considers altitude. And that's why some of the Soviet planes can be OP at times, because they just they can just pretty much do anything at altitude. So it's just stuff to take in consideration, the addition of altitude and managing the turn times for these planes at sea level. So yeah, and then for the Focke-Wulf, I think it's quite balanced right now. It definitely loses enough energy to where it's not just turning at 16 seconds consistently. The initial turn is going to be just as fast as the Yak-1B, but then after that first pass, it's going to start slowing down drastically, and the Yak-1B will be in its in its advantageous position where it should be, and the Focke-Wulf will lose its advantage like it should be. But that's just my general thoughts on it. I'm just kind of curious as to what you guys think. Do you think my additions or my research here was accurate? Do you think it'll help improve the game? And this is not to say that the Soviet planes can't shoot down into the German planes, because they definitely can. It's just a lot harder than it should be, and it's just not realistic right now. So I hope someone looks into this and figures it out. Maybe it does need to be fixed, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We'll leave all your thoughts and concerns in the comments below. I'll make sure I read them all. And until next time, appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.